we are ready to go. It's the SMT, and we're going to be testing the Samsung Galaxy S25 down in the lower level of the SMT HQ. And what we're going to be doing here is testing it for connectivity in the lower level. Kind of a tough situation, right? Given it kind of the run through, we tested on the main level. I made those videos, and now we're going to do the lower level, and we're going to do so with the same kind of conditions, early morning and lower level this time around instead of the main level. And we're going to test 5G, and we're going to test LTE. And as I'm kind of running through these tests, and I'm going to do about 3-4 of these, we'll see what kind of available signal we have, which bands are connecting, see if there's enough capacity for, actual usage, looking kind of for some stability and things of that nature. And then I'm going to give you guys the technicals on each of the connections here. So a couple of things I already noticed there that I don't necessarily like, albeit the speed is available for sure. I do see some loaded pings that are going to make this experience a little bit touchy. Could make things kind of not great. So there's another kind of bad test. Looks like the connection might be a little unstable on 5G UC. But this is kind of interesting because the S24 that I was using last year for testing did not really reliably connect to 5G UC in this particular location here at my desk. But this is staying connected. You could see 5G UC in the upper right hand corner. It's on there. Now the connection isn't great. We're seeing enormous variation within the kind of the metrics there. I think the bigger issue is the fact that it seems a bit unstable, right? So that's something that's probably worth mentioning. I think this is our 5th test. We'll probably wrap up with the 5G UC piece here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and test something else after I look at the results here. But we're all over the place. Let's go to the results, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, 5 tests. All right, so starting here at the 8:21 a.m. test, we've got low ends first test at about 30 megabits down and 1.5 megs up. And then things got better for downlink. We got into the hundreds, which is cool. But the uplink is basically unusable. I don't think there's going to be much you could do with that. I don't think you could do a FaceTime call. I don't think you're doing a video call there. Maybe with 1.73, maybe. But the problem with the connection, and this is what I was alluding to, is you've got unloaded ping at 261 milliseconds. Now, in and of itself, that's not the end of the world, but these right here, these loaded pings, are going to make your life hell as you're trying to use this connection. And that's why I don't think it's going to be good for things like video calls, because it's not going to be stable, right? And that's just that one. I mean, I can click on the rest of them, you could see the same thing. In fact, it actually is worse. So not a stable connection on 5G UC. So I think because the signal is weak, although it is connecting and staying connected, it's not a very good connection. When I checked the connections, it was 5 megahertz of band 66, 10 megahertz of band 2, 10 megahertz of N71, 100 megahertz of N41, and then 90 megahertz of N41. And it was on an NSA 5G connection. So it's not even defaulting to standalone 5G, which is, I find, kind of interesting. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing moved into LTE. My expectation here for LTE is not much. I don't expect too much throughput because there's much more bandwidth on the 5G side. So we'll see if that's the case. But I believe, if I remember correctly, there's 10 megahertz of band 2. There should be like 15 megahertz of LTE on band 66. I don't even know what just happened. We started the app. I don't know, something was wrong with it. Yeah, so we're back on here running the test. And we're just looking to see if it's comparable, similar to, better than, worse than the 5G. I'm expecting 5 megahertz of band 71. I thought there was 15 megahertz of band 66, 10 megahertz of band 2. We'll check those connections shortly. But here's our first preliminary testings. The ping time dropped, the loaded ping, so that's cool. Or the unloaded ping. I don't even see anything for loaded ping. Got some jitter there. Not too bad. 52 megabits down. Okay, we're still struggling with the uplink. Okay, so kind of seeing a trend here. And I'm going to check the connection log to make sure I can see what the bands are and how much bandwidth is there. But the connections, it's tough down here for T-Mobile. I'm going to run one more, and then I'm going to check the bands. Okay, but I do think that this particular connection, LTE, I do think it's a little bit more stable than the 5G. And I think maybe it's just the signal quality. It's just a little bit stronger, a little bit cleaner. Even though the 5G testing was on an NSA 5G connection, so it's utilizing LTE for anchor. Looks like the connection's a little improved. Maybe there's some improvement there happening on the modem side. Let's go ahead and check the bands. Let me see what's on there. Really weird. It's 5 megahertz of band 12, 5 megahertz of band 66, 20 megahertz of band 66. I have no idea what's going on there. I did not see band 2 as I was running the speed test. Super unusual. Let's go ahead and look at the results here. All right, so wow, really random stuff. All right, so one test was 38 down, 0 up. Another test was 72 down and 3 up. 52 down, 8 up. Let's take a look at some of the details. The idle ping is lower than it was for 5G. The loaded pings are lower than 5G, although the uplink loaded latency is not great. But so look, the way I'm looking at it is it's a tough situation to get a signal down here for T-Mobile for whatever, sector placement, whatever the reason may be, the azimuth of the placement of the antennas and radios. I don't know, right? But impressed that it was getting 5G UC in the lower level and it was actually connecting and staying connected. The performance was less than ideal. And the same thing with the LTE. You don't really have much here, right? That, like I said, probably watching video content's not going to be a problem on either the 5G UC or the LTE, but you're going to have trouble because of the uplink and the variability in the pings. It's going to be kind of rough if you're going to be doing anything that's going to require, like any type of video calls, or you need stability, live streaming. It's not going to work well. So definitely going to want to get on the Wi-Fi if you're doing any of those things. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.